So, Matt, 7 hours on air, hundreds of results came in. What was the biggest thing that stuck in your mind?
Even if you have gazillions of dollars to spend, don't spend them on a political election if you're not absolutely certain of winning. Meg Whitman, Linda McMahon, all these people who had tons of money to spend, it was just a waste of money. They should have just kept it, stuffed it under the mattress, bought another Learjet.
It's kind of divine justice, isn't it? That you cannot buy democracy.
Right? It's reassuring.
It was reassuring for voters. When you see how much money there is in American elections, what was it, $4 billion that election cost last night? What does a British general election cost? $75 million.
But is it going to stop anyone from spending this kind of money in the future?
No, I think it's just going to get worse and worse. And the thing that I thought about last night is that really 2012 is beginning, and this changes the landscape now. It makes things much harder for Barack Obama because he's lost all of those states, those governor's races, the Cinderella of last night's election that we didn't talk about very much because everyone's focused on the House and the Senate, but he's lost key governor states. That's going to make his bid for re-election much harder.
And you know, it's interesting, watching him today, he looked a little grayer, he looked crestfallen, and he looked chastened. And for the first time, I think he really realized that something had gone wrong in his presidency. Because before he said, he was happy to say, I screwed up, I messed up, I made mistakes, the buck stops here. But he always said it with that sort of sense of serene confidence. That confidence was missing today. This guy knows that he's in trouble. And I think he also knows that he might not have the ability to kind of squeeze the flesh and schmooze with the opposition that Bill Clinton had. Bill Clinton had the same experience, but guess what? He dusted himself off, he went out there on the golf course, he was schmoozing with Trent Lott, he made the phone calls, and after his thumping, he managed to get resurrected.
But I wonder what that means then for the rest of the world and for America's ability to get things done, because the one thing I took away from all of our conversations with our guests last night was that we are heading for a period of gridlock, and that the next 2 years, because Barack Obama doesn't find it very easy to reach out to the other side, and because the tone from the Republicans today has not been very conciliatory, I suspect we are in for a period when the big issues that America needs to tackle, things like energy, education, immigration reform, are simply not going to happen.
And that's not good, because what happens in Washington doesn't stay in Washington. And so if you have this kind of paralysis, or if division becomes dysfunction, if the idea that the Founding Fathers came up with becomes just paralysis, then no one is the better off for it. Watch this space.
Long night, long 2 years.
Quite right.